Up next, we continue our Eclipse chapter recap series on Clever TV with chapter 26. Hey guys, I'm Jocelyn Davis. Welcome back. Now today it is on to chapter 26, Ethics. The chapter opens up with Bella in Alice's bathroom looking at a ton of beauty products sitting on the counter. Bella cannot wait any longer though. She wants this to be done so she can go and visit Jacob. Bella was so sick of this whole facade, but of course Alice will know when Jake wakes up. So Alice suggests that Bella go home instead. Charlie was bound to be suspicious at this point, and Bella really needed to make sure that he was safe too. Still though, all Bella could really think about was Jacob, and her thoughts also slipped a little bit to Bree, the other newborn vampire in the meadow. Would she be like that? She asks Alice. Alice says that she'll be okay. The Cullens will take care of her. Alice shares that Carlisle had to re-break lots of Jacob's bones because he'd started healing too fast with some of the breaks not set properly. He'd still been out at that time, but it had been really hard to do. So then Bella says that she has a question about the future. The intuitive Alice explains her powers and the Cullens' powers versus the powers of others. But after it all, Alice sees that all Bella really wants to know about actually is that Jacob will be okay. And she also wants to know if she will still be a vampire herself. So Alice assures her that she will one day be one of them. So Bella goes home and Charlie wants to know if she's heard about Jacob yet. She explains that yes, she's heard, and she plans to go down to La Push after dinner. Charlie says that Jake will be okay because anyone who can cuss that loud will be fine. His entire right side was basically crushed in the motorcycle accident. This was all according to Charlie, of course. So Charlie says that it was a really odd day. It was like Billy had known that something bad was going to happen. Then he starts thinking back, remembering a time in the past when the same exact thing had happened. They were out on the boat and he heard some wolves start howling and he had this desire to go watch some game. It was weird. Charlie thought this whole thing was really odd, but he'd forgotten about it until today with Billy. One minute it was loud howling outside, and the next minute it was Jake's cussing. Really strange. Oh, and it was also super weird that the Blacks were willing to call Carlisle. And even weirder was the fact that Edward seemed so worried, almost like his own brother was hurt. Bella thinks of Jake, who at this point is just so fragile, so breakable. And then her dad interrupts her thoughts and says that he has this weird hunch that he's gonna lose her soon. Bella just says he's being silly and that doesn't he want her to go off to college? So Charlie gives up, asking her to at least give him some sort of advance notice so that at the very least he can say goodbye before she runs off with him or something. Of course, he's talking about Edward. Bella just writes it off, but does agree to her dad's wishes. So Bella takes off for La Push. She knows what she needs to do is going to be very hard, but she goes into the Blacks' house, not really knowing whether to knock or to just stay at Jake's door. Finally, she enters Jake's room and it's obvious that he has been waiting for her, but his face was blank. Then, after looking at her for a little bit, he attempts to smile, saying it had been a really rough day. For as worried that Bella had been about her friend, Jacob is also concerned about her. He felt bad that she'd had to talk to Edward alone. Finally then, Bella catches on. She told Jake that Edward wasn't really upset about the whole thing at all. Jake is completely shocked at this. He knows that Edward is a better guy than he'd given him credit for. Bella realizes that Jacob still hasn't given up yet, making her feel even more terrible straight to the core. Jacob admits to trying to trick Bella in the tent, but he doesn't regret it at all because he knows that Bella does love him. At least he has that. He's glad that Bella also knows that he is in love with her. She'll never have to wonder about that one. Finally, Bella just can't resist any longer. She crosses over to the other side of the room to comfort him. At this point, Bella starts crying, actually sobbing. Jacob, still hurt, tries to reach out for her, and he pulls her to him. So why was he comforting her when he was the one who had just been in critical condition? How have the tables been turned here? Jake says that he can be good, just be her friend. But Bella says that it might be too late since they love each other too much. So Jake thinks that maybe a long-distance friendship would be best for them. Jacob's gonna stop trying to rip her in two. He would just let her be. But he does admit that the worst part is knowing what would have been. They would have been just effortless together. Jacob understands that Edward is like a drug for her, but he would have been her son but he does know that it's too late for her to turn back at this point. Bella does seem to agree. Jake was her son. He balanced out all the clouds. But Jake says that even he, the sun, can't fight an eclipse. Wow. So Bella wants to make Jake happy, but she just can't do it. It's killing her. She wants to stay with him, but she can't do that. She has no choice. He regrets telling her what he did and promises to be good. So he changes the subject here to the wedding. He wants to know all the 411. How long does she have left, and when will it be, before or after? Of course, he's talking about her being turned. She answered that the wedding would be soon and that the whole it thing would be after. He seemed to be very relieved to know this. So what was she afraid of, he wanted to know. Of course, she replied that there was a lot of things, but it was totally going to be worth it in the end. Bella whispers to him, "You know I love you. I wish it was enough." Jake promises that he'll always be waiting for her just in case. Then she just has to tear herself away from him. Then he sort of halfway jokingly says that, hey, he might even take her after, if she wasn't too smelly. Bella looks at Jake and says she wonders when the right girl will catch his eye. She probably won't think the other girl is good enough for him, and she even wonders just how jealous she'll be. Jake seems to kind of enjoy this thought a little bit, actually. Then Bella kisses Jake's cheek and says, "Love you," and he says, "Love you more." And with that, Bella walks out of the room. Wow, so bittersweet, you guys. And that is the end of the chapter. So of course, here's your question. Do you think that when Bella first enters Jake's room, he thinks that he really does have a chance of her picking him? Let us know right here, and stay with Clever TV for all of the recaps. I'm Jocelyn Davis. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.